ladies and gentlemen. We are joined by David Reservitz, candidate for the Massachusetts Governor Council and the District 2 Democrat primaries, which will take place on September 3rd. David, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good.
Thank you.
So to start, for those that don't know, can you explain what the primary role and responsibilities of someone in the Governor's Council is?
I'd be happy to. The truth of the matter is a lot of people don't know what the Governor's Council is. But it's a very important body of government that is elected that vets and votes on judicial appointments for attorneys seeking to be appointed as judges.
Terrific. And help the voters get to know you a little better.
Yeah.
Could you talk about your professional and previous political experience and ultimately what made you decide to run for Governor's Council?
Sure. I'm originally from Brockton, Mass., then moved to Easton, Massachusetts. I went to Oliver Ames High School, which is the public school in Easton, graduated out of there in the 80s. Went to Northeastern undergrad and then on to UMass for law school. I knew I always wanted to be an attorney. And I've been a busy trial attorney since the 90s. When I was a young lawyer, I was working as a public defender. It was when we had a Republican Governor Mitt Romney in the State House. He was sponsoring a program to essentially cut the funding for public defender representation. So I found myself getting politically active within the legal field, running into the State House to fight the administration on that issue, which we were successful. And from there, I became president of the Plymouth County Bar Association. And then in 2008, I was recognized by Governor Deval Patrick and appointed to a board called the Judicial Nominating Committee, or the JNC, which is where this process of judicial appointment begins.
Terrific. Could you please describe the experience and skills that you have that distinguishes you from the other candidates in this year's Governor Council race and why you believe that you're the best choice for this position?
Yeah, I have a lot of experience. I've been a busy trial attorney for 28 years now, since 1996. I've tried a lot of cases, Tom. I've tried cases in the district courts, the superior courts, the probate and family courts, housing courts, handled matters in the Board of Industrial Accidents. It's what I went to law school to do. So I've spent half my life as a trial attorney in front of judges. I've learned how to read judges. I've learned what makes a good judge and, unfortunately, what makes a not so good judge. And then, as I referenced the Judicial Nominating Commission, there's a lot of lawyers out there, but very few have actually been appointed by the governor to be a part of the first step of the process, the JNC. And I sat on that board for Deval Patrick for the better part of his terms and really dialed in on what it takes to make a good judge. A crucially important decision that affects people in this community on a regular basis, whether it be an issue of liberty, a family issue involving child custody, whether it be an important financial matter, a housing matter, or a labor issue. My body of work really does set me aside from the other candidates based on that experience.
So what do you think some of the qualities of a good judge are?
It's a great question. The first thing we look for is experience. As we lawyers say, it's good to have attorneys that have worked on both sides of the V, which means, you see a typical case caption, Smith versus Jones, or Commonwealth versus Smith. You've got plaintiffs and defendants, you've got prosecutors and defense attorneys. Skilled applicants have had lengthy legal careers where they've represented multiple types of parties and multiple types of matters. So a good candidate is a lawyer that has handled a lot of civil matters, a lot of criminal matters, housing matters, that has both been a plaintiff and a defendant in civil matters. But there's more than that. You also really just need to look at the human being. What type of person are they? Are they invested in their community? Are they dialed into the people of their community? Mm-hmm. And you want good thoughts and ideologies. I'm a Democrat. I don't want any judges that are going to be anti-choice. I don't want any judges that are anti-labor. I want judges that are tough on gun laws and drug dealers, but also understand when there's a need for rehabilitation over incarceration.
If elected, what are your goals while being part of the Governor's Council?
Similar to that, I want to make sure that we have the best possible judges selected that have the right experience, that create the strong judiciary that sets us aside from, I hate to say it, but our federal government, where our federal judiciary has just decided to overturn Roe v. Wade. We want judges that are going to keep Massachusetts progressive and ahead of the rest of the country on important issues like a woman's right to choose. But these judges have to be experienced, well-written, smart, fair, reasonable, compassionate, but tough when needed to be tough candidates. Given my broad experience, I know how to vet judges that have the right experience both in criminal, civil, housing, and labor issues that are going to affect people's lives in this community.
All right. Could you talk about the most important political issues or causes to you, and anything you have done previously to help or address those causes or issues?
Yeah. Well, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is a woman's right to choose. I know that my fellow members of the Democratic Party have the same feeling, but we're in unprecedented times with the Hobbs case and the overturning of Roe v. Wade. That's a crucial issue for me. I'm very invested in anti-hate crimes, tough on gun laws. I'm very pro-labor. And I think it's important that we also pay attention to issues of mental health and addiction, which can rip apart families, and I've seen that on a regular basis in district court. So the politics are very important here, and if I'm elected as the governor's counsel for this district, I'll make sure that these candidates have the ideologies that really are in tune with the members of this community.
All right. And if someone would like to know more about you or your campaign, where can they find you?
Yeah, I've got a website. I'm on all the social media platforms. You can find me at www.votefordave.net, and you can email me. One thing that I've always promised to do is I intend to have very open lines of communication. I really want to get in touch with people in this community and talk about our judicial system.
Terrific. And to wrap things up today, we're going to give you a minute or two just to make one more final statement to the voters on why they should pick you.
Okay. I think they should pick me based on my experience. I am the only candidate in the race that has actual experience in vetting and conducting due diligence on judicial candidates. This was done while I worked for Governor Deval Patrick. I've also spent the better part of 3 decades in courtrooms watching judges, appearing before judges, interacting with judges, and trying cases. And I know what makes a good judge. I've been in front of a lot of good ones, and I've been in front of some bad ones, and I see what harm bad choices can make. So I'm passionate about it. I loved doing it under the Patrick administration. I hope to be elected to continue to do it for the best interest of the people of this district.
All right. Well, David, thanks for taking some time to talk with us today. And that will wrap up the interview. Don't forget, the Democrat primary for the Massachusetts Governor Council District 2 takes place on September 3rd. Thanks so much, David.
Thank you for having me.